Alright, tropes! How's Becky doing? She's fine. In fact, she's even more motivated than ever now that Hugo's on board with us. He's always getting pure, heavy, brilliant stuff in on for us too, which is a big help. Yes, that's what I like to hear. Doing business isn't about making a profit, it's about helping others out too. Seems like she's finally realized that. I'm doing everything I can here too. It's a little bit hard to live up to the market manager Otto's work, but well, we'll just have to take things step by step. Step right up, folks. Business definitely seems to be better these days. Nothing makes a merchant happier than seeing his goods fly off the shelves. Can't wait to brag to old man Hines about this. Sure is great to see sales jumping up these days. I mean, it still can't compare to pre-war sales, but it's something at least. Can't say no to motivation. Hello there, I'm in the middle of opening up the shop right now, but feel free to have a look around in the meantime. Even managed to get my hands on plenty of ingredients today thanks to the train schedule slowly returning to normal. This market really is the perfect place to do business. With quality produce, it's always possible to do well here. There's still a long way to go until things return to normal, but I'm happy nonetheless. I should be able to make some high-quality medicine thanks to the rare ingredients I got my hands on. This just goes to prove that the spirit of the grand market has yet to fade. Long ago, I happened to be doing business in one of Erebonia's neighboring countries. A fierce war broke out during then, sweeping everything and everyone up in it. Perhaps the most fitting way to describe it would be hell on earth. Everyone suffered. Can only hope that this civil war doesn't reach the same conclusion. My apologies for boring you with my story. But well, anything can happen during times of war. Should worse come to worse, remember that your best option is to flee. Take that as a tip from your elder. I keep trying to get the friendly soldiers to try some of my honey, but they always turn me down. I decided that enough was enough and barged into their guardhouse. Once I told them that the honey works well as rations, they bought a whole case. Yay! The new soldiers here are so composed, but that just makes getting a sale out of them even more exciting. I look forward to doing more business with them. Listen to this. I think I managed to spend my money smartly today. First, I skipped out on the glasses equipped with magnifying lenses and bought the shampoo set instead. Then I bought the non-stick pot and passed over on the thermometer equipped with chopsticks. I finally gotten the hang of what and what not to buy at Cornet's shop. It's amazing how much weird stuff Cornet has stocked. That isn't an issue anymore. I guess I'm one step closer to becoming a shopping pro now. Feast your eyes on this masterpiece, socks that double up as dust cloths. Cleaning's never been so easy. Imperial Army troops come by to patrol the Grand Market twice a day. They're professional and pleasant, pretty much the complete opposite of the Provincial Army. Now that's what I like to see, proper soldiers doing their job right. I've had customers telling me it's a lot easier to shop here now that the Provincial Army's gone. I'll be thankful to the Imperial Army for clearing them out. Negotiations about the trains went fairly well, but I wasn't able to deliver all my documents on time, so I basically ended up letting the market manager down. I honestly did my best, but still pretty frustrating that things ended up like this. Part of me wonders if I'll ever become a merchant at this rate. Appreciate Louise trying to cheer me up, but it's not really helping. I decided to take a day off soon, so I can go see my family for a bit. Feel kind of bad for leaving Margot with all the work for a whole day, though. And that's why I'm working my butt off now to make up for it. Try not to worry too much, Lens. Everyone makes mistakes now and then, so learn from those mistakes and keep on trying. It's good advice. Simple, but good. Louise finally agreed to take some time off soon, after refusing for so long. Things have finally calmed down here in Celdic, so I should be able to handle the place on my own for a while. She's mentioned being worried about her family pretty often too. I would be, based on what we experienced. This will be the perfect time for her to go home and enjoy some nice family time for once. Lisa's been working non-stop ever since the war broke out, so I'm glad she finally agreed to take some time off. This will be the perfect time to go home and enjoy some nice family time for once. Summers keeps yammering on about how we're not making big enough profits. Can't believe that boy gets so focused on making some mirror. We had to do some smithing and help our customers out. That's all there is to it. Must have gone wrong somewhere while I was raising the kid. Which means it's my job to set him straight now. I mean, he's still right though, profit is important. I don't know if my old man's aware of just how bad things are for us right now. Very much in the red here. We scraped by this week since the tax increase seemed to be calming down, but things are definitely still bad. It's not that I mind his passion, or even the hard-headedness. It'd just be nice if he actually showed some sort of concern for the store's future. Maybe it's my fault for trying to manage everything all on my own. But it's not too late. I can drill the fundamentals into him now, and we can see how things go from there. Hook, line, and sinker. You're way too easy, Susie. I'm never gonna forgive Jake for this. His impression of Father Zerbel was so good that he actually made me convinced for a while. Unbelievable. Jake's been a horror for a long time now. Mom said he was like this before I was even born. She had to scold him lots back then too. Think he'll ever grow out of it? I don't think he will. What do you think, Kitty? Oh dear. It'd be nice if Jake wasn't such a bully. Then we could all play together. Maybe Mum was right about him never growing out of it. The general feeling of unease seems to be waning these days. That's not to say people have stopped coming along to pray on a daily basis, though. So much to do these days that I decided to leave Rosine in charge of the next Sunday school class. But so much on her already. I do feel a little guilty. Sister Olive has allowed me to lead next week's Sunday school. Even with the terrible times we're in, can't help but smile when I get closer to my dream of a proper sisterhood. I used to help out a bit at the church in Trista. I think I should be able to do this if I give it my greatest effort. Rosine will be in charge of the upcoming Sunday school class so I can focus on other tasks that need to be done. With the level of dedication, I'm sure she'll become a wonderful sister. I wonder how the children in Trista are doing these days. Hope they're alright. Really do miss them. Father Zerbel's mass made me feel much more at ease. Adios bless him. Rather than waste my time fretting over the future, I should count my blessings that I'm still alive and kicking. My apologies, but we're in the middle of Mass at the moment. If you'd like to take a seat and join us in the offering prayer, however, be my guest. The offering prayer? The teachings of the Septian Church were bestowed upon us by Adios herself. Let us pray so that our thoughts and hopes may reach her in the heavens above. Well, what's all this then? Are you taking the cows to the barn, Tannen? Sure am. Sire asked me to since it's pretty cold today. Well, I'm not doing anything right now, so I'll help you? Do you need help with something? No, it's nothing. What? Did you hurt yourself? Let me see. Don't touch me. Yeah, I guess I'm not a favorite person, judging by that reaction. Oh, you completely misjudged the situation, mate. Adios, I can't do it. My heart might actually explode if I get any closer to him. Hey, guess what? Scary soldiers finally stopped coming by. Does that mean the war's over? I hope it is. Yay, the scary soldiers stopped coming by. Does that mean the war's over? No. I've known Lemon for quite a while now, so I was aware that he was a top-notch merchant. But to find a way to provide everyone with seeds for next year out of his own pocket certainly took me by surprise. That couldn't have been cheap. I'm not sure any of us can thank him enough for this. It's such a nice thing to do. Lemon's proven his mettle as a merchant time and time again. Big things await him in the future, I'm sure of it. Did you hear? All those forced tax increases were finally repealed. The general price of stuff's dropped as well, so shopping's back to being a simple task now. Now all that's left is for the war to come to an end, then we can all really celebrate. We don't really hear much about how things are faring in the other provinces, so it's hard to tell how the war's going. Hopefully it's close to being over. I was in real trouble not being able to buy many seeds for next year. But then Lemon said he'll sell me what I need on the cheap. Hard times and knocking on his door like the rest of us, but there he goes, looking out for me like he were nothing. What a guy. Next year's harvest is going to be big enough after all. Lemon's been putting money aside to buy seeds for us farmers. What a guy. Gonna be selling him my crops next year, yes sir, eh? We've finally finished moving all we need here for the time being, which means that we of the 4th Armored Division can finally turn our attention to our next goal. Just because we have a major fortress like this as our new base doesn't mean we can let our guard down. We need to keep a close watch around both Trista and Boreahard. There's no telling how our foes will move next. Damn, looks like the 4th Armored Division's title as the strongest isn't just for show. They're a whole different ballgame from those Provincial Army guys. That chef's so good that none of them need to come here for their food either. Be nice if the troops from the Armored Division would at least stop by once in a while. It'd be even nicer if this war would just end already. Yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. I haven't given up yet. The Transcontinental Railroad's going to be back in business soon enough, and I'm going to be the one who makes a killing off it by sticking around here. Hopefully the trains come back in service soon, because staying here is really racking up my tab. I'd find a way to make some money on the side. The base was constructed during the Middle Ages, so there's all sorts of interesting gimmicks to it. Hidden passageways and trap floors seem to be the most common ones. Just about done with our inspection, however. Time for us to move on to the next stage. Major Neidhart has finally returned. Now we can finally unleash our true military might. Of course, maintaining our line of defense would have been easy enough even without his presence. Future battles will be our chance to show everyone exactly why the 4th Division is renowned as one of the strongest divisions. We're renowned for having the strongest firepower thanks to the presence of Lieutenant General Craig and Major Neidhart. We'll be able to show the meaning behind that claim on the battlefield soon enough. Uh-oh, she's at it again. Just don't make eye contact with her, okay? Why, she might order us to disassemble the tanks again. She's probably the only person I know whose main joy in life is doing tank maintenance. I suppose it makes sense for her to be so skilled when she's practically a walking encyclopedia on them. The only other army unit officer I can think of who can hold a candle to her is Hoover from the 3rd Division. Should have seen the two of them going at it during practice one time. Incredible doesn't begin to describe it. Tanks that Officer Virginia, is that right? I have no idea on that one. Let me know. Works on always perform well in battle. Virginia, Still, I look forward to seeing how they'll fare next time. Why can't our maintenance crew do their job properly? They're supposed to be pros. Look, there's still mud all over the treads. This damage to the cannon needs to be fixed. Might seem small, but it'll ruin the weight distribution. Oh, Nadios, there's even part of a shell stuck here. There we go, my little beauty. You're ready for the ball now. Time to run some engine tests. You two people over here, stat. Yes, ma'am. Allow us to help. The upcoming battle should prove to be a simple one, sir. The troops stationed at Aurochs Fort are mere reserves, if you will. Personally, I'd be more concerned about those Jaegers they've hired instead. The Noble Alliance's main forces are comprised of the real elites of each provincial army. They've been assigned to high-priority areas like Heimdall. We won't fight them this time, but it's only a matter of time. But of course, preparations for it will be as thorough as always. I'm impressed just how well the Major was able to investigate the internal affairs of the enemy forces. Finally time for us to begin making our next move. Naturally, that will be recapturing Heimdall. Word has it, the 3rd Armored Division has already begun planning their next operation. One-Eyed Zex has certainly earned his reputation. We don't have time to admire him, though. We've got our own work to do. I've read the reports on what happened in the Norse province. Seems you and your classmates played a pivotal role there. Keep in mind that the main reason you succeeded is because the enemy didn't anticipate a 3rd faction. Don't let this victory go to your heads. Daring may win the battle, but caution and vigilance will win you the war. Did caution get a friend? With the addition of the Panzer Celdic units, Le Guin's army possesses strength greater than the forces we've gathered. In addition, Trista is under heavy guard, which means I believe Marquis Ragna's resolved not to play any further part in the war. One of the Great Four has finally fallen. I thought it would be us who had that honor, but it seems not. Nevertheless, we have our congratulations. I'm proud to say I expected no lesser achievement from the young lions of Thors. Still, We'll be able to steal all the glory from us. It's about time we began deciding our next move. 3rd Armor Division has already started preparing to advance on the capital, which means we need to start outlining our own plans at once. Both Aurelia and Wallace's troops seem to be dominating the battles in western Erebonia. But that's no issue. My blood stirs in excitement at the prospect of facing against forces as great as theirs. The 7th Division's holding their ground, but there's no doubt we'll end up facing them should things continue like this. We'll have to make sure we're completely prepared for when that time comes. It's likely that we'll eventually clash with the heroes of the Noble Alliance. The thought alone excites me. For now, though, we need to focus on preparing for the upcoming battle. The provincial army left behind a fairly large amount of supplies and the like here. They seem to contain foodstuffs. We'll gladly make use of them. One can't succeed on an empty stomach, you know. We'll gladly make use of these. Damn provincial army and their shoddy work. So much equipment here, they never seem bothered to check properly. This train's loaded with military munitions and other armaments. Keep your distance. Thank you for the provisions, First Lieutenant Engels. I'm somewhat surprised you were able to gather so much despite enemy surveillance, however. Well, we know of lines that others don't, you see. As long as we can use our main lines, we can avoid most potential issues. Impressive, it sounds like you're well prepared for emergencies then. The Icy Maiden's rump certainly earned their fame. I'm sure we could stand to learn a thing or two from them. Oh, back so soon. The Courageous is as fast as they claim. Slowly getting a grasp on the situation over at Heimdall. Be sure to pass on any pertinent information to you all, too. Housing procedures for the tanks have been completed. Now we wait until the plans for our next mission are drafted up. I'm sure it'll be an arduous one, too, considering how ruthless Lieutenant General Craig is to friend and foe alike. The rump seems to be gradually regaining their footing. I get why everyone's so crazy for them now. Having them on our side is more than reassuring. I can feel the spirit's power coursing up through the ruins alongside the pulsations of an ancient spiritual awe. Needless to say, tremendous power lies within, which is precisely why I will be leaving all future investigation to you and your friends. Tread lightly. I never expected to find something so incredible out here of all places. My intrigue only takes me so far, however. Best of luck with your investigation. Oh, it's you. Is something the matter? No, it's nothing. Don't worry about me, I'll head back soon. Lieutenant General Walter. What should we do? I was feeling worried about whether we can really handle patrolling the border like this. And then last night, Fiona treated me to some of her cooking. Just like that, I felt a bit more relaxed. Need to do my job the best I can for her, if no one else. You wouldn't happen to have seen Warrant Officer Arbecker around, would you? Can't find him anywhere. I'm starting to get a little worried. He's had these moments lately when he just seems really distressed about something. Hope he hasn't gone far. Warrant Officer Arbecker is effectively the leader of all the survivors from the 5th Division. He's always had a pretty heavy sense of responsibility, so I worry about how he's coping with the position sometimes. Oh, hello everyone! Oh, you're helping out in the kitchen. That's right. I asked the people from the 5th Division if I could. I don't want to be a burden to them, you know? They're keeping me safe, I want to do something for them too. The soldier who used to cook here told me all the dishes he used to make too. So feel free to order up an old favorite. Thanks. I haven't had your cooking in ages. The 5th Division soldiers who are here all seem to be a bit on the gloomy side. Can hardly blame them after what they've been through though. Gonna hope my cooking lifts their spirits in some small way. We were honoured to have Viscount Arcade and Prince Oliver as passengers last week. We haven't heard a thing about either of them since though, which makes me a little uneasy. Especially after the news of the Imperial Army's crushing defeat at the hands of General Le Guin yesterday. If they weren't involved. Yeah, so do I. Well, hello. Will you be travelling with us to Sutherland today? Oh, you're not a customer? Well, never mind then. The line is still available if you need to use it, though. You'll find peaceful rural areas on either side of Lake Ebble, so it's operating normally, especially versus the trains. And thank the goddess for that. Dad told me to take a break from work, so here I am. I'm so bored, though. Rather have too much to do than nothing. He thinks he's looking out for me, but the way he tries just shows how little he actually understands me. I did learn that Julian and the other boys have been helping out around the town while I was sitting here, at least. Of course, when I tried talking to them about it, I just got laughed at and teased. Boys are just the worst at any age. This is all unnecessary if you ask me. I'll be just fine out there on my own. Still, rules are rules. I suppose I'll have to let Fritz accompany me. Where in all the devil's names has Julian got himself now? Wish he'd help out around the house once in a while instead of going out and messing around all day. I can handle escorting him on my own, so there's no need to worry. You should stay and help the acting master with his work. Cool, bye by me. Just don't get lost in the fog or anything. I'm taking Sven out onto the highway now. I'm sure I'll serve as a first-rate escort. Right now, anyone in town who wants to go out on the highways needs to have one of us accompany them. The monsters aren't so much of a threat as they used to be, but it never hurts to be careful. So, you wouldn't happen to know how things are over in Heimdall, would you? I really want to know when I'll be able to go back there. Not anytime soon, I'm afraid. We need to keep an eye on the situation there a while longer. Really, feels like I'll be stuck here for a while then. I'm part of the House of Representatives, so I should be doing what I can to end the war. What am I supposed to do when I'm stuck in a place like this? Ugh. I've heard all about what happened over in Norcia. Sounds like you all did a splendid job. Still, I can't believe Mark Ragnar being silenced by force, but I'm surprised Count Heimdall Ragnar fell to the same approach. Rena Reinford is a woman like no other. I'm sorry for my mother's behavior. Hold on. How do you know about that? I have my ways. Let's just leave it at that. You can't underestimate the Guild's information network. Why, how kind of you to say. Toval's working hard over in Western Erebonia, and I can't in good conscience sit here and twiddle my thumbs. We fully intend to do all that we can as well. Most people these days think spirits, dragons, and unicorns only exist in fairy tales, that they never roamed Erebonia. I wouldn't be so sure every single one of those creatures appears in this region's legends. Supposedly there was a dragon living in the mountains to the south too. And those stone carvings on the highway are said to have been made by gnomes. If you ask me, they all really existed. I don't know about that. I believe the spirits, dragons, and unicorns all used to exist in the Empire. I think that the city folk just forgot about them. I'm just concerned, like, why have you put this in front of the window? It's not exactly going to let any light in, is it? I wonder if it's safe to go out onto the highways yet. I'm due to go out and collect some herbs, but I'm worried that it might still be dangerous. I really want to get those herbs, though. Think there's any chance the war will wrap up soon and make my life easier? My supply of herbs is running short, so I'll go out and gather some more. This wouldn't be a problem if Duke Alberea wasn't messing with our trains. Hey, I talked to that girl a while back. She looks so depressed. Hope she's not still mad about the things I said about this town when I first arrived. Couldn't be it, right? Nah, it's the boys. Hope it wasn't my fault she looks so depressed. I didn't want her to take any of the stuff I said personally or anything. People all over Erebonia are talking about the courageous like wildfire lately. At least as far as we can tell from here. It's nice to see people getting so excited about something. It's the very model of airship perfection, after all. Is there any better way to fly through the skies? Captain's a woman, helmsman's a woman. There's Lady Laura on board. It's the best airship imaginable. It's like she's purposely forgetting that there are men on board. Poor forgotten men. Such a thrill to hear new updates on the Courageous's various exploits. So, good luck on your travels, Lady Laura. Can't wait to hear what you do next. Could have said thank you, Laura. I sent my husband off to see if we could find out anything about the situation in the capital. He's done nothing but complain since we arrived in Legram, so it's about time he moves something other than his mouth. He's so indecisive, a man of all words and no action, I swear. Really drives me at the wall. Sometimes I wonder if he really wants to go back. He certainly doesn't act like it. Well, there's a war going on. We're hearing that the Norcia province has finally declared its neutrality. Great news, isn't it? Might just be my imagination, but it feels like Legram is a little brighter today, too. He is hoping that this is just the first of many pieces of good news on the way. It's place erupted in cheers when we heard the news of Norse's neutrality. Sure, the news might not affect us directly, but it's good news. It's always nice to have some of that. You've been getting thick fog more regularly of late. That's fairly normal for this time of year, nothing to worry about. The fog has been awfully thick recently. You take extra care not to anger the spirits whenever it gets like this. Duke Abrea has some terrifying Jaegers at his beck and call right now. What's their name though? The Northern Jaegers? I've run into one or two on the highway myself. Not exactly the friendly sort, to say the least. I had to describe them as they're like blades in human form. What? Blades in human form? That sounds like nonsense. Xenoblade nonsense. Designed for and capable of only one thing. It sounds like they're only getting more and more active. That's worrying. Still, if you stay away from the Berea hard, you shouldn't have too much to worry about. If you do, keep an eye out. I want to speak to the doggy, not Logan. Indeed. My husband's been helping out around town with the general work lately. His cheese making is finished for the time being, and he says he's bored without anything else to keep him busy. It's all so very like him. He's the type of man who always needs some kind of work to keep his hands busy. My husband is the kind of man who loves to be busy with work, and he hates it when he has nothing to do. You haven't seen him start big house cleaning efforts when he's run out of stuff to do. Rumors about the Heimdall situation have just started to reach us, and some have been startling to say the least. I hear the Alliance's Supreme Commander is enjoying a life of luxury even now. They say he regularly throws parties for influential nobles on his airship, as his countrymen die on the battlefield below. What the world is he thinking? It's such a disgrace that Erebonia's highest-ranking noble holds parties as his countrymen die in the flames of war. What does he even hope to accomplish with this war of his? Indeed. I sent Chloe out to take a rest. She's a good kid, but boy, is she inflexible. She just doesn't understand that we can't run this place the same in times of war as we do during times of peace. She's been overworking herself to make this place run as smoothly as it normally would. She needs to accept the situation for what it is. She's going to end up hurting herself. My daughter's a great kid, but I wish she'd learn to be a little more flexible and try to take it easy once in a while. Better not worry about her. There's no sign this war's going to end. She'll end up hurting herself at this rate. And there's still a lot more for me to learn, but I feel as though I'm finally getting the hang of my work at the inn. Nico seems to love playing with the children around here too. First I lamented being driven from my home, but looking at things now I feel rather blessed indeed. So I'm here to thank Adios for all she's done for me. I saw Julian and Kano out playing with Nico earlier too. So nice to live in a town where children can play outside without fear. These days, yeah. If I take my eyes off him, he'll find some excuse to skip mass, and I refuse to let that happen. I know he can be a good priest when he really tries, but if he's not going to do so on his own, I'll make him try. And these are difficult times for all of us, so we need to give them our all. Being a sister doesn't make me exempt. And right now, the way I can best contribute to society is by forcing Father Heimdall to hold a proper mass. Norse's out of the war, and there's not even a whole lot happening here in Kreutzen either. I think we might have ourselves a stalemate right now. Normally I'd be happy that there's not much happening, but got a bad feeling about all of this. Could just be my imagination, you never know. One thing that isn't my imagination, though, is Eramis's death glare aimed right at me. Glare? Man, what's gotten into her? Am I supposed to concentrate on all my priestly duties with her eyes boring holes in me? Commander, repairs to the bench are complete, sir. Sir! Excellent work, men. Wait, the heck is this? You couldn't have done a worse job if you tried. You're supposed to hammer the nails straight in, not at whatever angle feels right at the time. Oh, picky. We're not planning on telling Dad about the junior Eisenrich's work. Wouldn't underestimate how great what we're doing is anyway. Heroes are always misunderstood in their time, right? Well, at least it's fixed. Who cares? I wish Julian would hurry up and make up with his dad. He was glaring at us whenever we're with him too. Kinda scary, to be honest. We were walking around, on patrol, and we found a broken bench. Then we fixed it. Are we good? Even with the dissipation of the fog, the trains are still as unreliable as ever. We used to use this fog as a scapegoat for their lateness, but now it's safe to assume the provincial army is to blame. Probably rerouting trains away from here as some kind of punishment for not fighting by their side. How childish. How few trains travel to and from Legram Station were practically isolated. I can't imagine that anyone trying to travel right now is having a particularly enjoyable time. Now that one of the 4 great houses is withdrawn from the war, the situation has begun changing for the better. That said, the Abarea family has been more brazenly trying to make things difficult for us of late. Duke Abarea seems to be panicking about something. About what, I'm afraid I haven't the slightest clue. Relations with Berehard are gradually becoming more and more strained. We should wait to see how things develop before deciding on a course of action, however. So the Norsha province has pledged to stay out of the war now. Does that mean they're now neutral? Then what am I supposed to do now? I can't get my head around all this political stuff. What am I supposed to do now? One of the Arcade family's ancestors served as second in command in the Eisenritter. It's said that he was granted the title of Viscount after the war ended, for how well he fought during it. That was at the same time since Sandlot died under mysterious circumstances, ending her family line. As a result, the Arcade family came to rule over Legram in her place. Well, you know, so the story goes. Suffice to say, the War of the Lions is a major part of the Arcade family's history. The war's still raging on, but I'm sure that Lord Arcade is fighting valiantly to bring it to an end. And there's no way that the head of the Arcade family could be beaten, not by anyone. He's an inspiration to all of us to keep things running smoothly in his absence. The other day, I was caring for the flower beds when a group of children from the town came to help. No, it really was sweet of them. Apparently, they've been going around and secretly helping people where they can. I haven't a clue what inspired them, but still enough to bring a smile to your face. Those children seem to be so proud of the way they're helping everyone around here. They may still be young, but it's plain to see they're people of Legram.